Welcome to another episode of Coco and Teal Speech Therapy. I'm Teal, this is Coco. In last week's video, I described milestones when introducing a pureed diet as a baby transitions from breast milk to solid food. One of my wonderful subscribers commented on that video asking about my take on an alternative method of introducing solids called Baby Led Weaning. Baby Led Weaning is something I didn't know too much about. I said, I don't know, and that led me down a rabbit hole in the past week as I explored this method of introducing solid foods to your baby called Baby Led Weaning. Baby Led Weaning is a method of teaching your baby to eat that skips the puree steps and instead offers solid food to your baby starting around 6 months. Using Baby Led Weaning, we're relying on the instincts and preferences of the baby in choosing which foods they want to try from their tray. We're also using the baby's gag reflex to expel any food that hasn't been properly chewed for swallowing, or food that the baby decides after tasting it that they don't want. In Baby Led Weaning, parents aren't offering the food. The babies are provided food and encouraged to freely explore and taste. The thing about the gag reflex is that for a 6-month-old infant, the gag reflex actually covers the posterior 2/3 of their tongue. So that is a lot of area that stimulates a gag reflex. And in Baby Led Weaning, parents do report that there's a lot of gagging. Parents get used to this gagging as a sign that their child decided that they weren't ready to swallow it and they just spit it right back out. There's a huge difference between gagging, which means that the food is coming out, and choking, which means that your child isn't breathing and that piece of food is actually obstructing their entire airway. So be prepared for lots of gagging using Baby Led Weaning. As an early intervention speech therapist who works with children with developmental delays, which have been identified at a young age, I don't know that I would recommend Baby Led Weaning specifically for my clients with developmental delays. Some things that we want to see before we would start introducing Baby Led Weaning to any baby are that they're able to sit upright on their own and kind of hold their weight steady. This is important because anytime that any human is eating, we want to have really good posture as a preventative measure against choking. Some other things to look for are that the baby is interested in the food. A lot of parents of children around 5 or 6 months report that they can no longer eat in front of their baby. That baby wants to taste everything and they see their parents eating and want a piece of that. That's a good sign that your baby might be ready for Baby Led Weaning. I would also say to make sure that your baby doesn't have any cognitive delays, gross motor delays, fine motor delays, or any other feeding issues before you attempt Baby Led Weaning. If you want to know more about Baby Led Weaning, I recommend starting with one or all of these sources. If you've tried Baby Led Weaning with your baby or infant, I would love to know your experience. Please comment below and tell me if you are for or against this method and what your stories are. Thank you for watching another episode of Coco and Teal Speech Therapy. See you next week.